Hey everyone, welcome to AutoVog. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. My name is Sam Park, and this is a brand new channel dedicated to car fashion, where the focus will be DIY vehicle wraps and all kinds of car mods. Please keep in mind that I'm not a professional by any means. In fact, I'm really more of a novice more than anything else, which will become very apparent as you watch some of the videos. So please feel free to make fun of my bad techniques in the comments. I'm totally fine with that. If you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, and commenting, I would really appreciate it, as that will help this brand new channel to grow. So without further ado, let's get on with some car mods. For today's project, we're going to be tinting the headlights on the Z06. I'm so excited about this. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I'll be using Vvivid's Hex Plus technology vinyl. What I love about this vinyl, it's very pliable, and so this will curve to every contour on the headlights. The other thing I love about this particular brand of tint is that it's gonna, your light output is gonna hardly degrade at all, maybe 1%, if that. Anyways, I'm excited to get this project started, so let's do this. As with any vinyl project that you're going to be doing, you want to make sure that you clean your surface really well. Since this is the plastic headlights, I'm going to use a little bit of simple green, wipe it down, and then I'm going to do my second layer of cleaning, which is with the isopropyl alcohol. You want to make sure that you're cleaning not just the actual surface itself that you're looking to do, but clean also the surface right around it. And the reason is because once you peel off the backing, the vinyl itself can get very static, clingy, and so it'll attract dust. And so you want to make sure that you clean off all sides. This is the ISO, 70%. The other thing you want to do is use blue tape, painter's tape, to tape around the paint surfaces, so that way you don't, it's for a couple of reasons. When you're running your blade, you'll have much less of a chance scratching your paint. The other reason is that it keeps the new vinyl layer from sticking onto the paint, so it makes it a little easier, a little more mobile to when you're doing the install. I'm going to try to get a little bit beyond the edge, so I can overlap it down just a hair, like so. The length, the farthest from one end to the next, is about 25.5 inches. 25.5. So I'm going to cut my first piece about 27 inches. And I'm going to try to cut the piece. Obviously, you don't want to cut them so small, like trying to get them exact, because the last thing you want to do is fall short on your actual piece. So I'm going to cut the probably 27 inches. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the entirety of the width of this film. And the reason being is because I can use it to smoke out the reflectors as well. So the widest part is about 8 inches. So I think I'm going to go about 10 inches, 9.5, 10. So from top to bottom. That will fit quite beautifully. All right, let's do one more spray of alcohol. There's already a decent amount of dust gathering on the headlights, as I can see. So we want to make sure you don't have any dust particles, any contaminants underneath. The reason being is they will create what looks like pimples. So zits under your vinyl. You definitely don't want that. And I'll keep this towel over the alcohol bottle so I know which towel's which. Okay, let's go ahead and do our first application. I'm going to peel back some of the vinyl, but not the entirety of it. One thing to note about this is you cannot touch the back side of the vinyl where there's going to be contact with where it's going to be actually installed. And the reason being is your fingerprints will definitely make a pretty good presence on it. And so let's go in here, all the way across to here. And so this is the beauty of vinyl. You can put it down, but you can also pick it up and reposition it. That's what makes this job so much easier. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glass out the head. Actually, I'm going to move it over just a little bit. So what I want to do is I'm going to glass out this side first. And by glassing out, what I mean is to make it look like glass, you just want to get all of any wrinkles, bubbles, all of that out as a preliminary. Once you do that, you can lock this section in, and then we can start the install on the rest of it. Now this headlight does have a pretty steep ridge right along the side. You can't see it on the camera, but it's pretty steep, so it'll be interesting to see how well this goes on around that ridge area. So I'm going to go ahead and heat it up, stretch it a little bit, not too extreme. Try to keep the heat going on even. Don't concentrate it on one spot. You will burn right through the vinyl. Work out those air bubbles. Like I say, the beauty of this vinyl is you can reposition it and pull it off, put it back on, which makes life so much easier for installs. Okay, so that really wasn't too bad at all. There's some air bubbles in here I might have to work out I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but looks like I'm gonna have to. So what I'm doing, I'm not really pulling the vinyl, but I'm just holding it in place so that as I'm putting it down, a little bit of pressure will keep the wrinkles from becoming creases. And there you have it. Not feeling any air bubbles. So now I'm going to work on to the all of the edges. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I do have a bubble here, but I got that out. Let's go ahead and heat it up real good. I'm going to go and turn the headlights on so you can see what it looks like. We've got the right side, my right side tinted, left side untinted. There's a little bit of an obstruction to the light output, but not much, honestly. It looks, it doesn't look like much at all. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and trim out the rest of it and we'll see what the finish looks like. So for trimming, I'm going to need my tuck tool. Again, my squeegee, my monkey strip on it, and then a fresh blade. I just broke off the old end, so this one's brand new. What we're going to do when we're going along the edge of the headlight, I'm going to let the blade, the back side of the blade, rest against the taped side of the fender. I'm not cutting it up against the light. The reason being it's going to be a little bit too short of an overlap, and I do want just a tiny bit of an overlap onto the light itself. And so if I cut on the fender side, it gives me a little bit of an overlap that I can tuck in to finish off the job. So let's get this done. Again, make sure it's not sticking on any of the other fender parts so that you can tuck it in really good. I don't have much, just maybe the first or second blade out. And then once I cut, I'm going to pierce right through where the fender tape is. And I'm going to keep cutting along the side of the fender, not the... And I'm putting pressure on the back side of the blade against the fender, so that way the sharp side is not cutting into the paint of the fender. And once again, that's the whole reason why that tape on the fender is so important. And I'm not pressing hard at all. I'm just very, very lightly taking my time. When I pull up on the film, I'm going to pull up easy, nice and easy, because there are times where you think you've cut all of it, but you didn't. And as there is a fragment that's still stuck, what happens is you end up pulling up the portion of the tint or the vinyl that you didn't want to pull up. So this guy's good. I'm going to grab my tuck tool, tuck it in. I think that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and start pulling off the tape. Again, be careful with this, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to pull off so fast this way that you end up having a strip of tape stuck on the inside, because those are a real pain to get out. sometimes it's almost impossible. You almost have to remove the headlight to get to it. So there, right there, piece of tape, just as I was saying it. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling the outside edge off first, and then I'm going to work towards the center. Oh, thankfully, it all came out. There we go. Beautiful. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of black satin, which is what I have on the hood, and the blackout for the rear end of this car. I'm going to just do a strip along the contour of this whole top area, and I think that'll just add a little more of an aggressive look. For that, we're going to need some design line knifeless tape. We'll run the knifeless tape along this edge, and once we lay the vinyl, then we'll be able to pull it off. Make sure you always give yourself about 5 or 6 inches on the edge, because you're going to need that to access the filament on the inside. The filament is what cuts the actual vinyl. I'm feeling pretty good about that, so let's leave that there. I'm going to cut this guy off. I actually leave both sides 5 or 6 inches on both sides. Sometimes I can't get the filament on this side, so then I'll have to resort to going to the other side. For this, I won't need to measure. I'm just going to take a piece, lay it on top. That's really all about what I'm going to need. So there's my line here. And once again, alcohol wipe. So important. Get every bit of contaminant off that you can. And then we'll go ahead and tear this guy off. This is Avery Satin Black, my favorite film on the market. Actually, one of the only ones I've ever used, so. As you can see, it is very pliable, which makes life so easy on installing. It's really important that you get the area that you're going to be cutting, that it is down really well, because you don't want it loose while the filament is cutting across it, because it will give you some jagged edges. So I'm just going to run my finger along it, make sure that it's down and tight. All right, so I'm going to make sure this is down nice and tight, give it a pull, and it should come out nice and beautiful at the end. So once you pull out the knifeless tape, there's 2 layers of tape that you also need to pull off. the filament we just pulled out, and then there's going to be two sides. Looks like one right now, but it's actually two. You can see them separating there. Got to make sure you get both of them out, because otherwise it'll leave a wart underneath your new vinyl. And then for the rest of this, back to my blade. Again, back side of the actual fender, so I'm not cutting the paint. And peel it easy, nice and easy. Again, you don't want to pull up something that wasn't intended to be pulled up. We're going to get my tuck tool, heat it up again, heat up those edges really good so you can tuck it all in. I'm going to put it on low power right now. Heat up the rest of it, especially the edge where we cut it with the knifeless tape. Go over it one more time. Make sure you got any bubbles out, and we're activating the glue. Make sure these edges are nice and tight. And that's it. And so that second overlay, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it with the light, but what it does, it just adds another element to the smoking of the headlights. The bottom side obviously is smoke, but it's not blacked out. The top side is obviously completely blacked out at this point, and just gives it a little more detail, I think. Anyways, that's it. I hope this was informative to you. Hope you got some ideas from this. My big thing is don't pay someone to do it. Do it yourself. Figure it out. Again, this is the first time I've ever done a headlight, so you got to witness all my mistakes as well as some of the successes. Really easy to do. It cost me all but I think $20 for the material for both sides. So do it yourself. You don't have to pay somebody. It's super easy stuff. Thank you so much for taking the time and watching this. Have a great day. God bless you guys.